Welcome to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, created and hosted by Scott Knudsen, to explore the crossroads of horses and business. Now here's your host, Scott Knudsen.
Hi, and welcome to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. I'm your host, Scott Knudsen. Thank you so much for joining us on one of our many podcasts. And if you're on YouTube, look up the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show and please like us and follow us and subscribe to our channel. Today, we have a very special guest, a good friend of mine, and we're going to have to tell so many stories. I know you're going to love this show. Jacqueline Taylor is on the show today. She's a creative director for Equus TV, and she's a producer. She runs the camera. She does so many jobs there. So, Jax, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's quite exciting being on this side of the camera for a change.
Well, you're so good on the other, so I'm sure you're going to be just as good on this side for sure. So let's learn a little bit about you. So did you grow up around the horse world?
So I did a little bit. A lot of people, I guess most people would consider that, like, did I grow up riding often and whatnot? But I didn't actually grow up really riding. However, my mom trained horses when I was really, really young, up till I was probably about 5. So I think just being a really little one, being comfortable and around them. And I've just always had this love of horses. And I used to draw them. I used to pretend I was a horse. I was obsessed with horses growing up, and I got to ride here and there. I didn't really grow up in an area that was had a lot of horses or anything. So, but I did start getting more involved out of high school when I moved down to Florida and started doing some things with polo horses and some other stuff like that.
Oh, exciting. It's cool. Your mom was a trainer. I didn't know that. What did she train?
She trained quarter horses, and I'm not exactly sure. It's funny. I don't think I've ever brought it up again. I just know that when I was younger, I don't know that we really ever talked about it as an adult. I should ask her.
There you go. That's awesome. So what led to you wanting to be a creative director for a great network like Equus TV?
Well, I fell into doing I would say extreme sports photography and videography, I don't know, maybe 6 or so years ago. And I've always been creative. I've always done graphic design, 3D graphic design, mostly in homes prior. But I think I've always loved visually working with design elements and whatnot. So I ended up getting an opportunity to work filming sports and at live events. So that was super exciting for me and a passion that I actually wasn't aware that I had. So awesome. I have a production company that I started and ended up doing a lot with that. And then when COVID happened, the opportunity came about to work with my partner to become the creative director for the network. And we launched back in 2020. So it was fate, as you have it.
I love that. I love you launched at that time, in 2020 when everything was kind of going kind of a little bit crazy. So what was the plan when you originally started talking about Equus television?
Well, essentially, we wanted to be the HGTV for the horse world. There's some other networks and more like on-demand type of programs out there, but resources, but nothing that really combined everything all together from the beginner to the expert. And so we wanted to have a home for that. And we also, wanted to include a lot of additional things that aren't really showcased in the what's currently in the horse world.
Yeah, I love that so much because, we used to train for all types of different breeds and events. And I love that. If it's a horse, I'm in. I don't care what event. And that's why I like the network so much is because you get to see that, as well as rescue horses, which we used to help with that too. So I think if you're just a horse junkie or even if you don't know that much about horses, you can turn in and find something.
Definitely. And I think that coming from a background of not being around horses, I've learned a tremendous amount. And being that we deal with so many different areas and disciplines, I've learned a tremendous amount. Like, for example, when we got together at the team penning World Finals in Texas, and I didn't even realize that was a thing. And until we started working with them. So there's just so many really cool things that people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, there's a lot of folks like me that aren't necessarily super involved in the horse world that want to learn and want to be able to show their kids and their families and,
Right.
Find out about that interesting type of content.
I love it. I love it. So I guess that's true. The first time we met was in Amarillo, and that was great. And you were just doing so many different jobs in the World Finals for team sorting and pinning what's going on. And
you were on camera and I was behind the camera.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were running up and down stairs and all this kind of. All I have to do is sit here, so it's a lot easier. So tell people, where can they find Equus Television?
So you can watch on your television if you have a smart TV like LG, Samsung, or if you have a platform on your smart TV like Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, you can download the Equus Television app. Just search for Equus Television, and I don't know if you can see my shirt here, but you'll see the 3 horse heads with the gold logo, and just download that right onto your TV. We have 24/7 programming, so when you turn it on, it's going to be showing whatever is programmed for that day, and every day is different. We have a lot of events and other things that go on. So, and then we have an on-demand section. So that's on your TV. You can also download the apps on your smartphones. We have Android and iPhone apps. If you go to our website, you'll be able to see those apps to be able to download, or any of our social media. And then lastly, you can, if you just want to check it out on your computer, you can watch the live stream or the on-demand on your computer at equustelevision.net.
I love that. I love it. So easy to find, but once you get the app, I love the app because anywhere I am, I can just turn it on and see what's talking, what y'all talking about horses, and love that. It's so easy to use. Let's talk more about you. So creating a network and helping create a network from your background of extreme sports. A lot of horse riding and horse events are considered extreme, or controlled. How was that transition for you, going from other sports to the horse world?
It was super smooth, and I didn't know how exciting the horse world was. There are, show jumping to reining and cutting. It's very exciting. Polo, we have the Sarasota Polo here where I live in Sarasota, Florida, and I try to get out there as much as possible. It's, filming people on skateboards or doing flying trapeze or, other kinds of extreme sports, water sports that I've dealt with. It was a smooth transition because pretty much, you're fast action, you're in all kinds of different lighting. Sometimes you're inside in an arena, sometimes you're outside in the sun. There's all different kinds of elements you have to deal with. And then obviously you have the horse and rider that are fast moving, and you've got to, be able to stay on top of them while they're doing what they're doing. So it's really exciting to be able to edit videos and showcase that, try to put out that excitement, to the viewer and make them feel like they're there in the moment.
I love that. And, it's so cool that you can make that transition. So many people struggle with that, or they don't know how to shoot a horse or a rider. They're focusing on the hooves and not the full picture. And that's a struggle. Do you think growing up around the horse industry helped a little bit?
I do because I feel like there's, I don't know how to explain it. I guess my recommendation for everyone is, if you've never been around a horse, go be around a horse, because their energy, their temperaments their personalities are so different. And so when you're filming a horse, there's things that you want to be able to capture, like obviously their movement, and then the rider connection with the horse. There's so many minute little movements that happen that, when you're just going to watch, you don't notice. But when I film, I'm able to slow it down, to zoom in certain aspects, and really be able to show that to people. So yeah, I definitely think having a little bit of riding experience definitely helped me with figuring out what to film.
So when you do a show, do you go back and after you get through with the edits, look and see where you can get better? Or how do you know what muscles to catch on a certain horse to make your programming so incredible to watch?
Thank you. Well, definitely the event, the discipline, and then the best thing we can do the first step is when we're at an event to check out the situation, to do test shots and prepare in advance. So we try to do as much testing as possible, so that we can get the best shots. I mean, obviously, again, if you're outside and the weather changes, that's going to mix things up. The discipline as well, doing, research if we've never been to a certain area to film, but making sure we know what's going to happen, working with the event facility to find out, okay, what's going to happen, where and when, and the timing of everything. That's huge. So really, it's a lot of preparation to make sure we get the best shots. And then, yes, of course, like during the filming, and this is more like live events, when we're doing pre-production or, planning a production, obviously we get a little more leeway with things. But yeah, in a live event situation where you don't have a chance to redo something, you have to plan as much as possible in advance. And then, you kind of just make adjustments as you go. And then definitely, if it's the first time doing an event, even if it's the 10th time doing an event, it's always changing. So yes, we for sure go back, look at the footage, you try to remember all the shots you want to get, but inevitably there's so much going on, like you said, that you might forget something, and you just got to, make sure you put it on your list for next time to grab.
Yeah, you definitely have to multitask. I was watching you work in Amarillo, and there were so many things going on at one time. And I know you had your interns and you had other help, but it was just, it's ever changing.
Totally. Yeah, you want to really be able to capture the full picture. I mean, with us in Amarillo, we had a specific shoot planned. However, it's not like we have all day and there's a time limit. And so, you're like, okay, I want to get the ground shot and the lower shot and the straight shot and you walking towards. And there's all these different things that you want to be able to get. And a lot of times we're working with multiple cameras and gimbals and all kinds of other things. So yeah, there's definitely a lot to factor in.
Wow. So how do you, okay, so this is for me, that's a layman. How do you keep up with the technology part? Because it's changing so much. How do you do that?
Related to camera equipment?
Camera or whatever you just said, the gimbals and the sound equipment. There's so many different things with it, the technology part.
So I would say we do our best to keep up with everything. I have a lot of connections in the industry. So thankfully, a lot of friends that, we discuss and talk about the latest and greatest. And also at the end of the day, our goal is to put out the best possible. And, it's kind of like the iPhones. Every month, it seems like they're coming out with a new version. So if you try to keep up with everything, you'll get overwhelmed. So we stick to our tried and true, and we do upgrade when we can. And, we work with what we got and just go from there, do what we can with what we got.
I love that. So do you remember your first show that you did for Equus Television?
Oh man.
Were you nervous? Or did it just seem like natural after everything you've done?
Well, are you saying show I filmed or show?
Yeah, that you filmed, that was your biggest part. Yeah. Do you remember the first time you really, this is going to be my deal?
I think the first that was completely on my own that I did with interviews and everything was probably in Fort Worth, Texas, for actually the U.S. team pinning. And I was a bit nervous. So you just go with it. I don't know. When the camera turns on, you just start talking and hope for the best.
I love that. That's what we do here. You described every cowboy entrepreneur show we've ever done. Just turn it on and let it roll.
Go for it. And, the great part about doing an interview on camera as opposed to having it live running is that you can always edit it. That's what I tell everybody.
There you go.
Don't worry about messing it up because that's the benefit of editing software.
I love that. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back with Jacqueline Taylor and find out a little bit more about Equus Television and some of the goals for 2023. So we'll be right back on the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show.
Thank you for listening to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. Scott will be right back with more. For more information on Scott Knudsen, the Cowboy Entrepreneur, visit us online at cowboyentrepreneur.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Knudsen, host of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, heard on KCAA Fridays, 3 p.m. Pacific. I'd like to talk to you about something I'm very passionate about. Those that know me know I love my coffee. In the morning, afternoon, and even late in the evening, I enjoy a good cup of coffee almost any time of the day. Now, my team at the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show has been working for several months on creating and introducing our own brand of coffee. We wanted to make sure that we got it just right. We don't want to put our name on anything unless we're 100% certain that it's the best product available, and we've finally done it. We have created a wonderful line of coffees, 13 fantastic flavors offered in whole bean, ground, and K-Cups, any way you like to brew your coffee. Now, each of our coffees carries our brand, the very same brand that we put on our horses, our trailers, and our chaps. So you know that this is a quality product. And we only use 100% Arabica beans, the very best beans available. Just listen to some of these wonderful blends and flavors. Jamaican Me Crazy, Honduran San Marcos, Chocolate Cherry Amaretto, Breakfast Blend, and my very favorite, Haley's Blend. A coffee so good, we named it after my daughter. You can order these coffees today by going online to javacowboy.com. That's javacowboy.com. And if you order today, you can get an extra 10% off your final purchase just by entering the promo code COWBOY on checkout. Remember, that's promo code COWBOY for an extra 10% off. Just go to javacowboy.com to order your coffee today.
Join Equus Television at North America's premier equestrian exposition, Equine Affair, April 13th through 16th, 2023 in beautiful Columbus, Ohio. And make sure to download the all-new Equus app for iPhone and Android for your chance to win an all-expense-paid trip for two to Equine Affair. No purchase necessary. Visit equustelevision.net for details. Catch Equus Television subscription-free on your favorite smart TV platforms, including Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, LG, Samsung, the all-new Equus mobile app for iPhone and Android, and streaming live at equustelevision.net. Download the app now to register for a chance to win a free trip to Equine Affair. Join the millions from Equine Affair 2023 in beautiful Columbus, Ohio, on the Equus Television Network.
Hi, welcome back to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. I'm your host, Scott Knudsen, here with Jacqueline Taylor. She is a creative director for Equus Television Network. So, Jacqueline, let's talk about maybe venues. That'd be, I think, a fun topic. Is there a story you can tell about maybe your favorite venue when you were shooting a horse event? Inside, outside?
Well, I'm in Florida, so the first thing that comes to mind is definitely the World Equestrian Center.
Yeah, golly, that's a mic drop already.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to beat that one. That is a very fun venue. I was just trying to think back to your question about which was the first event that I have filmed, and actually, I think so. This is also ties to the venue because I actually filmed the Wayne, Illinois fox hunt. That was super exciting.
Wow.
I had my camera on my gimbal and another, on my shoulder strapped around me. And I literally was running through the woods, chasing horses.
How cool is that?
Yeah. So sometimes venues aren't exactly what you would think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But definitely I've been to, I'm like let's see, I think it's called, in, the Camden Cup, Carolina Cup in Camden, South Carolina. That was a fun place to be, a little smaller venue, but they do the steeplechase race.
Wow.
Which is very exciting.
It's so cool. You get to see all these different events with the horses.
Definitely. Yeah.
So what's it like when you roll up? Are the people different with the different events, the different maybe areas of the country?
Yeah, actually, that is something that I guess, you kind of figure everybody's going to be different. But again, being that I didn't grow up in any specific discipline or area related to horses, I kind of just, have an open mind and didn't really have preconceived notions about who I was going to meet or, the type of people. But I would definitely say, there's a difference between English and Western as far as style, which is super fun.
Yeah.
English is like, I would say pretty much anybody in the English disciplines, like eventing and jumping and dressage. It's so very like put together and elegant and classy. And I love the style. It's really cool to see the different riders and how they put things together. And even how their horses, like the way the horses are adorned. And then the Western, I love it too, because it's definitely, the materials are a little bit more bright, I would say. I don't know if bright is the word, but a lot of really cool personal style. It goes into the Western world.
Absolutely.
And so same thing. Yeah, it's really cool. And then the personalities are, I would say everybody overall is pretty friendly and welcoming. And yeah, maybe I would say, and I don't know, maybe a little bit on like slightly serious on the English side. Everybody's super focused and what they got to do, get in and get out. And it's been fun at different Western events because a lot of times the horses will be kind of waiting all in the same area, just hanging out, ready for their turn to go. And a lot of the people are just hanging out, having a good time. So it's kind of like me with family. It's really fun, both areas. And then for sure, different parts of the country have different personalities too.
That's what's so cool about the horse. It puts all of that together. And that's what the network does as well, Equus Television. But all the different personalities and the different ways they saddle and unsaddle and kind of work together or not work together, all around the horse, and it's amazing. So what do you like doing best as far as, with being a creative director? Is it the camera work, the editing, or setting up the sites for where you're going to film?
Oh, that is a really tough question. Oh, goodness.
It's the only one today.
So I very much love all of those different aspects. I would say that probably it's close, but my favorite would have to be filming, being in the field, getting to see all the action, capturing those moments, awesome. And or like we were doing with you, planning out a shot and or different shots for something that we're trying to create and being able to, facilitate that is super fun for me.
That's so cool. So what advice do you have for someone maybe watching today or listening to us or however they get our show, and they're like, man, I want to do what she does. I want to go to work for a network and work my way up. How would somebody start in this business?
Well, you just do.
I love that so much. You just start.
Yeah. I mean, there's not really I don't know if there's any particular right way or wrong way or anything like that. I mean, it's crazy. You can do so much with a camera. Back onto what's the favorite thing to do? Filming, I have filming on a horse, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, because I've done some coverage and filmed while riding, which is very exciting. But that leads me to my point of, the cameras on your cell phones nowadays are so good. And there are so many free apps that you can edit with. You don't even have to have fancy, expensive software. And so really, you just got to get out there and do it. If you're not involved, so like for me, I live in an area that doesn't really have a ton of equestrian stuff right where I'm at. And it's not, a hugely known equestrian location. So we're more known for the beach here. But so if you're not around horses and you don't have friends that are, have horses and you don't have the opportunity to ride and you want to get involved in filming, go check out volunteer at a rescue. There's also riding centers and therapeutic centers that need help. Even if you're, mucking the stalls and things like that, a lot of times they also need help with social media and maybe photos for their website. So, I mean, with social media, you can do cell phone, things. And even, for their website, sometimes the phone will work, obviously, if you have a camera. But even then, you can buy used cameras. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I mean, when I first started, I was working on a 10-year-old, DSLR that was like pure basic minimum. And the stuff was getting shown, on Jumbotron. So at the end of the day, it's not about the equipment. It's about you and just getting out there and trying it. And you won't know until you get out there and actually do it.
See, I love that. I love that so much. It's so inspirational for somebody wanting to start and it's that first step. But once they do,
yeah,
absolutely. I think yes, because there's so many good people. I think that's what's so great about our horse business as well. You don't have to be a horse trainer to be in our industry. There's so many different ways to be in the industry or close to it. And you're always at the center of center of action anyway, filming, you're right down there. So what if somebody wants to intern with the Equus Television Network? How would somebody, how would they have the qualifications and how would they get, their information to you or to the network?
Well, the best way to contact us would be to shoot us an email. So my email is jnt@equustelevision.net, or you can go to our website and reach out to us that way. Or any actually of our social media, you can contact us through there, and we'll get the message for sure. But yeah, reach out to us if you've had any kind of college experience with filming or editing or anything like that, and you're interested in working with horses, if you have a background in sports, that's really great. But again, even if you're somebody who hasn't had a lot of experience formally, but you have done, like I said, you've put together your own videos, and maybe you've been, adding stuff on your social media. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities in what we do. There's opportunities for travel and filming on location. We also have remote opportunities for our social media, for our editing, for the network itself, graphics. There's so many ways that you can get involved. So if you have any of those kind of backgrounds or interest in getting involved with any of that, we do train, but we also love when somebody has a lot of experience already. So definitely.
That's so cool. That's so cool. I got to meet an intern in Amarillo, and then another gentleman that filmed our show on the road with the Cowboy Entrepreneur that's on Equus. He filmed with us, and he met you, and who knows where it goes from there. But there's a lot of opportunities with the network, especially with it growing so much. So
definitely, we try to. There's so many things out there. We really believe that a high tide raises all ships, and we're able to help each other out and grow together, and your goal of connecting people is huge. So any way that we can do that, we are totally open to ideas and ways to make that happen.
So I love that. I love the opportunities to get more people involved. So what is like the most challenging part for you in a day-to-day, with everything that you do? How do you get it all done? But what challenges you?
I don't know that it'll ever be all done.
Oh yeah, that's a horse business for sure.
Yeah, it's always, I would say it's a blessing and also a challenge is where we're at right now. We have a tremendous growth that's happening. Like I mentioned before, we're actually in Aquitania, Germany right now. And then we have other events that are happening as we speak. And then in a couple of weeks, we have the World Cup finals we are participating in, and also the Equine Affair. So just in the next, month, we have those events, not to mention our regular programming. We have our news that comes out every week, our social media. There's a lot going on. So I would say just trying to keep up is probably the biggest challenge, and, the manpower to make all that happen. And, again, you just kind of go with it and do the best you can and make it happen.
Right. Yeah. Well, it looks great. You really bring the horse world into one network, which I love, because I love watching some of the other events that I haven't done before and thinking, how in the world can I do that? Trying to figure out a way to get to do that. So what's probably, besides maybe the fox chasing, what is another cool event you went to that's not mainstream that could be one day?
Well, let's see. Oh, that is a good question. Brain totally blanks. I know I'm it's been several years, and I know I've been to many events.
You've been to so many, and there's so many different events out there,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the steeplechase is, I bet that was pretty cool though to see.
It was, it's different than a regular thoroughbred horse doing a race. Because they're flying at full speed over these jumps, and it's funny because I hate to say it, but again, I'm just going to be totally transparent. I didn't even really realize what steeplechase was. I was not familiar with that until we actually were there in person. It was amazing to watch the riders. I mean, you think riding a racehorse on a normal track is hard? Wow. Yeah, it's something else.
It's incredible. It is. And, I keep saying that's why I like the network, but it is because people haven't seen it. They've heard about it. But once they watch something like that, it's a different level for sure.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I don't know how I spaced out, but I did go to Denmark a few months ago for the FBI World Championships. And
wow.
Yeah, so that was incredible. It was dressage, vaulting, and jumping, and so Diana, one of our colleagues, and she's a world-renowned photojournalist. She's been to the last 10 Olympics and many more. So we're very blessed to have her working with us on our team. She was doing photography in the arena, but I wasn't actually watching the event happening live. I was in the press area, so I got to interview the riders as soon as they got off their horse.
Wow.
Which was super exciting. So I got to meet the U.S. jumping team, and then the winner, Henrik von Eriksson. I got to interview him and, celebrate and all of that. So being involved in the press conferences and filming those, and
that's some cool stuff.
They're cool. Yeah,
it really is. Oh my goodness. Well, there's so many questions I want to ask you because I just love it. Anything with a horse, I just love it. Love it. So what's some plans for Equus Television? You are growing so fast, and it's hard for any business. We want this entrepreneur too. How do you level it up so as you grow, you add, so it stays balanced? How do you do that?
Ooh, yeah, balance.
That's tough.
I think I don't know if I don't know if there's ever really a balance.
Yeah.
I think, you have to constantly go from, a little heavier here to there to, you just kind of keep going back and forth, because you have to have the growth, and you're going to be pushed to your limits and, to where you can almost not handle it. Then you got to grow, and then, as far as a team and what you're able to accomplish. So it's just this little steps that you have to take to do that. So, we have huge plans, and, definitely, like I said, a lot of partnerships with major events across the world. We're starting to do a lot of international events, like I said, with Germany and being in Denmark recently. There's not just the live events. We obviously have that going on, and that's very exciting. But we also are working on a lot of programming with having documentaries and films, all kinds of things of that nature. You have one I know that you're working on.
Yeah.
So we're very excited about as well. But
Thank you.
But yeah, we have a lot of news and coverage, and we'd like to expand on that. And our regular programming, we have Equus Original Series. Again, back to you. Very excited that we have our.
Thanks for propping me up, Jax.
Yeah, we're definitely looking to have more Equus Original Series that showcase all the different people in the horse world. We have a show called Behind the Horse, and it really just involves anybody and everybody that is, helps facilitate and get that horse together. We have another show called Equus International, where we are talking to, the higher ups for different equestrian organizations in different countries to see how their world is and what the top sports are, and just kind of to get to know what it's like being in those areas. So I think, we obviously are focused on the events, but additionally bringing a lot of information out there. And also, again, I don't hate. I'm happy to promote you and everything. It's so pivotal, I think the type of partnership and relationship we have with you, we are doing with others as well. And so the veterans working with therapy and really showcasing how the horse truly helps people overcome PTSD and disabilities and other things, traumatic, things that people have gone through related to military and other things. So what you're doing with that is super amazing. And we definitely want to let people know that that's an option and they can use horses as a means of therapy.
Oh, I appreciate you saying that, and I'm just blessed to get to do it, and I love the title. Y'all named it, and I just fell in love with it on the road. And it's so fun because we have to go from rodeos to Camp Cowboy with the military and just so many more cool shows. And it's just the people that make it so great, and the horses for sure. And the horses are the healers. And I love how you have the rescue horses on there too. And that's so interesting. I was watching one of the shows the other night, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's a same thing. I think if you're not involved with that, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what it's like at the auction house. You don't know what it takes. I mean, for me, personal experience, it's those things those are things that I did not realize, all the steps that are involved that go into that. And then once you actually rescue a horse, sometimes the things you have to deal with and overcome. And yeah, it's I think a lot of people aren't aware, and it's important to make that happen. For example, Equus Foundation is a great organization that are preserving horses, Mustangs out in the wild. That's another area of that we're working with. But yeah, I think that really, all of that being said, just brings us back to the gratitude of what we're doing. I mean, we are so blessed to have wonderful people like you that we're able to work with. And I think that, if anything, if I can say anything about, if you're trying to get into this, or just in general in life, if you're trying to do anything, is remember gratitude. I think the more you focus on the great people and things that are happening in your life, the better off you're going to be, and the more that comes.
No, I love that so much, for sure. I can't believe it's going so fast. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with Jacqueline Taylor.
Thank you for listening to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. Scott will be right back with more. For more information on Scott Knudsen, the Cowboy Entrepreneur, visit us online at cowboyentrepreneur.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Knudsen, host of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, heard on KCAA Fridays, 3 p.m. Pacific. I'd like to talk to you about something I'm very passionate about. Those that know me know I love my coffee. In the morning, afternoon, and even late in the evening, I enjoy a good cup of coffee almost any time of the day. Now, my team at the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show has been working for several months on creating and introducing our own brand of coffee. We wanted to make sure that we got it just right. We don't want to put our name on anything unless we're 100% certain that it's the best product available, and we've finally done it. We have created a wonderful line of coffees, 13 fantastic flavors offered in whole bean, ground, and K-cups, any way you like to brew your coffee. Now, each of our coffees carries our brand, the very same brand that we put on our horses, our trailers, and our chaps. So you know that this is a quality product. And we only use 100% Arabica beans, the very best beans available. Just listen to some of these wonderful blends and flavors. Jamaican Me Crazy, Honduran San Marcos, Chocolate Cherry Amaretto, Breakfast Blend, and my very favorite, Haley's Blend. A coffee so good, we named it after my daughter. You can order these coffees today by going online to javacowboy.com. That's javacowboy.com. And if you order today, you can get an extra 10% off your final purchase just by entering the promo code COWBOY on checkout. Remember, that's promo code COWBOY for an extra 10% off. Just go to javacowboy.com to order your coffee today. Hi, and welcome back to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show with Jacqueline Taylor, Creative Director for Equus Television. And this seems like it's just like one of our phone calls discussing the next shows. I think 90% of the time we laugh and 10% will work. So not a lot gets done, but we have a good time. That's what it's supposed to be in the horse world. So Jacqueline, where are you headed next?
Well, actually, I'm getting to do some things in Florida. So Equus Television is, like I said, at Equitana, the World Cup coming up, and then also Equine Fair. As far as myself, I'm doing some events next week at Live Oak in Ocala. And then after that, I'll be at the Equus Foundation's 20th anniversary in Wellington, Florida.
Fun. So you're on the road too. So, being on the road, we're both there all the time. And so there's always a fun story. Would you mind sharing one? Usually they're embarrassing. You don't have to do one like that, but just a funny story.
Well, I mean, when I first, so it's not like my first rodeo filming when we started Equus. However, I think I was just like so gung ho to get out the door, and thankfully I was driving. Because if I was flying, I have my go-to, how I pack all my camera gear and everything. But I think probably because I was driving, I had an event in Ocala, and I actually drove all the way there several hours and realized I forgot my cameras.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, and again, it's not like this is the first time I was filming anything. I mean, I've been doing this for years. I think I just got so excited to get on the road that I literally just forgot them. And thanks to the help of others. Yeah, there was a good friend of mine, Alana. She saved the day and let me borrow her camera so I can get
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Alana Films. Yeah, she's amazing. and doing a lot in the rodeo world. But you definitely look her up. But yeah, she saved my butt.
Oh, isn't that a terrible feeling? Because stuff just happens, it just happens. And it's such a bad deal, especially that, because you're going to need that for sure.
Yeah, thankfully it was just like a several hour long event. It wasn't like, and it was a preservation of horses event where I was doing a few interviews. So it wasn't like anything super, I needed a ton of different equipment. I was able to get by with like her good Sony. So
how good. It wasn't Denmark or Germany, right? So thank goodness.
That would have been terrible.
That would have been bad. Yeah, we wouldn't be laughing right now.
Everybody makes mistakes, like you said. If you're if you're getting involved, don't worry, it happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. So Jax, tell us a little bit about the Equus filmmakers. I think this is a cool thing. I know it's not developed yet, and I appreciate you sharing it on our podcast, but
yeah, for sure. So yeah, we're working on connecting with different filmmakers, equine filmmakers that produce content. It could be a full length documentary. It could be a short. It could be, anything like that. And so we just want to highlight people that are in the industry, looking to tell the stories, whatever they may be, of different horses in the horse world. So reach out to me to connect. And then we can, go from there. Additionally, we are also looking to connect with people that, might have training courses or other types of content that would be relevant. It could be behind the scenes on how to, produce a certain type of equipment or hats or anything related to the equine industry. If you're a farrier, for example, and you have a lot of content that's high quality and really great about the different things to look out for with your horse that could be really beneficial to someone, we are interested in having that on the network. So definitely reach out to us as well.
Oh, that's so wonderful that you're doing that. And there's so many filmmakers out there that want to get their content out on a big platform. So it's really cool you're giving them that opportunity. So I guess I'd just go to equustelevision.com, go to contact, and email you to hopefully get started.
Exactly.
Awesome. Let's talk about the on-demand shows too. I think that's a cool function of the network. Would you mind talking a little bit about that?
Sure. So like I mentioned, we have the 24/7 programming. It changes every day, depending on what we have going on, the latest news, the latest show that has come out for that week or day or whatever it is. But let's say that you don't get a chance to watch it live on the network. You can actually go to our on-demand. So we have all the different categories for, we have equestrian events around the world. There's polo, there's show jumping, dressage, reining. There's all different kind of categories. You can go also to like the documentaries or training and health and wellness. There's many different types. So if you miss it on live, you can actually go back and watch it. And what's great about the network is that you don't have to, there's no fee, there's no subscriptions. You can register for a subscription, but it is free, and that will allow you to watch everything.
See, I love that, where we go, they were like, how do we get the network? And I'm like, put it in your phone. What does it cost? Yeah. Is there a monthly fee? And I'm like, no. I was like, just enjoy it. I love how you have it categorized too with the popular and the new, because if something's under popular, I would have never watched just because I didn't know they were there. And then I catch myself watching something and it just hooks me. And now I'm late to everything, but
it's a great point. So in our national feed, which is our 24/7 programming, we actually like to do that. We will, do one discipline right to another. We'll throw in a news piece, and then you'll be watching a documentary after that. We really try to mix it up and expose everybody to a lot of different things. And then if they find something that they, like you said, that caught your attention, you can then go to that category and watch more, whatever is interest of you.
Yeah, and it happens. It happens because it's shot so well. And when you're flipping through there, you just see so many cool things. And all of a sudden you're watching the rescue horses or just something neat, and it's a really cool feature, but I think that's needed in our horse world. It always has been needed, because everything is so divided. Everybody thought everybody else was doing it wrong. And now when you watch, and it just happens that way. And I don't know if it's meant to or not, but we roll up somewhere and, it's kind of fun to watch, But now when you watch on your network, everybody's out there with the horse, and that's the main thing, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, we all have the same love. It's really
Absolutely.
of the horse, and
Yeah.
that brings everybody together, really.
Yeah, it's cool to watch for sure. So what other plans do you have for the network as it's growing and expanding? Now you're global. You're filming in other countries. So,
Well, we have a lot of exciting initiatives that we're working on for our marketing. We're working on our Equus Athletes program. So we are looking to work with different athletes in all disciplines and all different backgrounds that can be an Equus sponsored athlete. And then also we are looking for brands that want to be involved in our athletes program and other things that we have going on. And then we are working on an Equus professionals program that we will work specifically and highlight professionals in the industry. So that could be, photography, videography, but even farriers and equine insurance. I mean, the things that you don't really think of, anybody who's a professional that's making it happen in the equestrian world. So that's really exciting, new initiative that we are working on. And then lastly, we are also working on, and now I forgot.
there's so much. I think that's so great that you're encouraging people outside the industry to come in, because all of the boot makers, the hat makers, the painters, the photographers, they're all needed.
For sure. Yeah. And that's the things, the behind the scenes stuff that you don't really get to see. Of course, if you go to an event, you're watching a horse jump over something or run around a barrel or, buck someone off, whatever that might be.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, yeah, the training that is involved with it. I mean, the saddles, all of the little nuances in the equipment that make such a huge difference, and the farriers. I mean, let's talk about the farriers. How important.
Everything. Yeah. Absolutely.
Sure. Definitely.
Absolutely.
So we really want to highlight those people and make sure that they're known as well and that they get the credit that they deserve.
That's really cool because, as a trainer and now doing my show, seeing those guys out there working so hard, they deserve that respect because they do keep the horses in the arena and the cowboys and cowgirls out there. And that's important. But it's also important to show that, to get more people in the industry and let them see there is other jobs besides just being in the saddle.
For sure. Definitely. We want to inspire others that you can do anything you want.
See, I love that. And I feel the same way. I think they can. Anyone can. If you just got to go and find the right people and put them around you and work your plan, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what's some of the things coming out of Germany? I know you said some of the team is over there right now. What have you heard?
Yeah, so we have some street scenes that are up. They're doing a lot of clinics, and the exhibition halls are really exciting. There's tons of vendors and people being able to try out different products. But yeah, if you look on the network as we speak, there's street scenes, which we call on the scene. So you get to see what it feels like to be there in person. And then Diana is actually going to be doing a lot of interviews with top clinicians and people in the industry, talking about what they do and finding out the nitty gritty. Yeah. So expect a bunch of those coming out over the
I think that's so cool for a horse lover that just can't get to Germany, but they can watch it and actually hear from the people on the ground and what it's really like, and for sure. Well, what's next for you besides finishing this show here
today?
Yeah, I know you got a ton of stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
So what do? Do you edit the rest of the day, or do you start setting up the shows for the rest of the week, or what else is involved in being the creative director? Because you do so much.
Oh yeah. Well, So yeah, today specifically, I'll be working on getting some things on social, working with our team to get the interviews and street scenes edited that come out for today. They're a bit ahead of us in Germany right now. I think they're 8 hours ahead. So yeah, pretty much when we wake up tomorrow, they're going to be at the end of their day. So we'll have a whole new list of things to work on. So when we have live events, it's pretty much all hands on deck. We are at the beck and call. As soon as stuff comes in, the team gets right on it and we knock it out. And then we have to do a little bit of preparation in advance. And also a lot of times with these events, we will do virtual interviews leading up. So we go ahead, and create the graphics. We create all of the templates for our virtual interviews and our, on-site interviews and we create our own intros and all the things that we need. That way, when the event happens, it's like ready to rock and roll. And then additionally, yes, we have our regular programming, our polo that comes out on Monday and Wednesdays. We have our Horse Rescue Heroes and other shows that come out during the week. Your show that comes out and every week, and then a lot of our other producers that we work with that provide content. So it's just a matter of making it all happen and juggling everything that's coming in.
I appreciate you sharing that because you've told me before, like what's in your day, and that's so much. You're doing the time zones and live and already, recorded, and I appreciate that. I really appreciate what y'all done for our show too. It's fun now. People are saying, "Hey, you need to do the on the road show for Equus over here and over here." And so they're giving us ideas now, so it's catching on. And I appreciate all the support for sure.
We're so glad to be working with you. I can't tell you how happy we are about all of that.
Oh, I'm having so much fun. Like I say, I'm serious. We just laugh the whole time, when we talk. And somehow it just works out. It just works out.
I know. And I got to say, kudos to you, because every time I talk to you, you're in a different location and you've got, every other day or every day, it seems like you're doing a new event or new something or filming or doing something. And I am like, and don't you have a farm to run? Don't you have horses and a family that you're keeping up with as well? I honestly don't know how you do it all.
We're both on the road so much. We'll probably bump into each other maybe in Fort Worth in May sometime, possibly. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And thanks for Equus TV and really promoting the horse world around the world. And thank you for being on the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thank y'all for watching the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. And please hit the subscribe button on YouTube, Cowboy Entrepreneur. Thank you for watching.
Thank you to all the great sponsors of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. If you or your business is interested in being a sponsor of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, please call our office at 830-992-1786 or visit our website, cowboyentrepreneur.com.